Hey, Dena here. It's just been a while since I did a vlog, so just thought I'd do one. Plus it, gives me something to put out this month. Things have been a little bit crazy lately. First of all, I've got my hair in a ponytail, okay, so don't freak out thinking I chopped off all my hair. It's in a banana clip. They're very 80s, but I think they're cute. Anyway, last time I did a vlog, I had my hair in a ponytail, and at least one person freaked out. And, oh my God, Dena, what'd you do with your hair? So anyway, yeah. I got it into my head that if people were to ask enough questions and questions that were interesting enough, I might like to do a Q&A vlog. And so, a long story as to why it took me so long to do it, but a year ago, I put it out there and I actually got some interesting questions. So, yeah, I've been meaning to do this Q&A vlog for nearly a year. It was, I think early September last year, and at the time I'm filming this, it's early August, so yeah, it's like 11 months ago. Oops. Well, just a quick update about everything. Is it Labor Day that's like in the first week of September? Or I think it's Labor Day. Anyway, whatever holiday that is. Last year, Lee had to go to the emergency room, and basically what ended up happening was that he had to have his gallbladder taken out. And his liver was really inflamed, and he was in really bad shape, and it's just big nasty surgery that had to be done. And he's still recovering from it. That was actually why I covered the Silent Hill movie last year for my big Silent Hill video. I wasn't able to do a big multi-part game den. I just did a top 5 list of things I hate about the Silent Hill movie, and that's why. I had to pick something relatively quick and simple to do so I could at least get something Silent Hill related out that year. But anyway, got off track a little bit. Another is we're getting ready to move. We thought it was going to be at the end of August. It turns out it's going to be at the end of October. I am planning ahead, and I'm already getting started on my October game den for this year, so I should hopefully, God willing, have that out in time. So that should come off without a hitch. Not knock on plastic. So yeah, and I'm at least trying to get my monthly quota of videos in, and I figured this vlog would be a good way to do it. And yeah, I just sort of forgot about this vlog because, like I said, around the time I had asked the questions, and around the time that I was gathering the questions and putting it together in this little document, Lee was in the hospital, and I thought I was going to do it while he was recovering, and it just never happened. I think because I had to stop working on it and start working on a video to put out in October. Let's see, what else can I mention? I'm trying to... I know I've been borderline MIA for a while, so I'm trying to let everybody know what I've been up to. I did put it out there that I wanted to do a reading / audio drama of Silent Ponyville, and I went as far as doing a casting call, and I chose the cast and everything, and then it just sort of dropped off the map, and I haven't said anything about it. I am still planning on doing that. It's just sort of kind of put on the back burner for now because of the move and my big Silent Hill episode coming up. I have to work on that, but I am still gonna do Silent Ponyville, especially if you're one of the people who I chose for the voices. It's still gonna happen. It's just kind of put on hold for the time being. I think that covers everything that I've been wanting to update people on. So yeah, this is just a simple little Q&A vlog. I'm just answering questions people asked a year ago, and yeah, not dressed up for it or anything, obviously. So yeah, I guess I'll just get started on these questions. And I asked these in multiple areas, so I'm going to try to remember to say where the person asked the question. Tavo Torres, I hope I'm saying that correctly, on Facebook asks, if you had to choose any director in the world to do a Silent Hill reboot, which one would it be and why? I'm actually not there aren't very many directors that I really follow, and of the few that I am really familiar with, like off the top of my head, what directors am I familiar with? Steven Spielberg, Kevin Smith. Yeah, let's have Kevin Smith do a Silent Hill movie. That would be interesting. Yeah, I can't think of very many directors. I'm kind of going out on a limb with this one. I know that David Lynch has influenced some of the Silent Hill mythos, so I have not actually seen any of his movies, but I did recently watch Twin Peaks and I loved it, and I can see how it's a little bit Silent Hill-like in places. So I think maybe David Lynch. I need to see more of his movies to be sure about that, but I think at the very least David Lynch would handle a Silent Hill movie interestingly. One thing I noticed about Twin Peaks is that there's a lot of symbolism going on and things don't quite make sense, but then toward the end they kind of come together and they sort of make sense. So I could sort of maybe see him covering Silent Hill and maybe doing it well. But like I said, at the very least it'd be interesting. So that's all I have for that one. Michael O'Connell, also on Facebook, asks, I'll follow that line of questioning by asking, in general, what current actor would you want to play the main protagonist in a film? You can extend that to other characters as well. Not sure about protagonists. I always thought that like, you know, had this been done like maybe a couple decades ago when Silent Hill was a little more new, I think maybe David Boreanaz, that's Angel from the Buffyverse, I think he might have been a good Harry Mason. He might have also been a good, he definitely, I'm not saying I would necessarily want a movie adaptation of Homecoming, but he would make a really good Alex Shepard. What I would like to have seen them do in Silent Hill Revelation, had they actually, you know, bothered to follow Silent Hill 3, I would like to have seen Vincent, what they could have done with Vincent, which I think would have been cool, is they could have aged up the character a little bit and actually have him be played by Ethan Hawke, because his facial features are modeled after Ethan Hawke, and I know Ethan Hawke, I'm not super familiar with him, but I know he's been in horror movies. I just think that would have been interesting, and I've seen images of him and he does look like Vincent, so I think that would have been kind of cool. Just if nothing else, it'd be an interesting nod to the development of Silent Hill 3, you know? Okay, Brett Hospital, again, most of these questions came through on Facebook. I also asked on DeviantArt and Fur Affinity. Yeah, I have a Fur Affinity account. I'm not a furry, I draw anthropomorphic characters sometimes, so I have a Fur Affinity account. But I asked on those 3 platforms, so, but most of the questions I think came through from Facebook. Brett Hospital asks, here's a question, what the hell has happened to the horror genre lately? Tell me about it. Boy, the horror genre. Yeah, well, the horror genre has always been kind of wonky in some way. Like in the 80s we had the slasher film. The 80s was the slasher film in the sequel decade, and then we had, you know, then we had the PG-13 rated, I want to call it a genre, era. We had the PG-13 rated era, which I just want to go on record as saying I don't have any problems with horror movies being rated PG-13, because, you know, what causes an R rating? Swearing, blood, gore, you know, you don't need those things for a movie to be scary. So, I'm fine with, movies being rated PG-13. What's kind of funny is when, the problem with that is that they were trying to get a younger audience in, and they were doing it to make more money and not doing it for the art. Horror movies can be called art, I think some of them can. But anyway, yeah, and that was kind of bad in that, I think we have The Ring to blame for that. I personally love The Ring. I've not seen the Japanese version, but I love the American remake. And it was rated PG-13 because it didn't need any blood or gore or anything. It was just, at least to me, and it's one of those movies that kind of, you know, you either love it or hate it, I guess. I personally loved it. I thought it was scary as hell. But it had no blood or gore or anything. So, that movie worked it out well. Unfortunately, I think it kind of started a trend. But anyway, and then came the torture porn genre. because that was basically Eli Roth's way of saying fuck PG-13 rated horror movies. Horror movies have to be rated R and they have to have blood and gore and blah blah blah. Yeah, whatever. And then came the, I think we're still kind of in the remake genre, the reboot genre, and I think that's, I'm really not happy about that. I never did see, I mean, good lord, what have they rebooted now? Let's see, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween. I haven't seen any of those, actually. I made it a point not to. I've heard some good things about Nightmare on Elm Street, but I liked the old movies. I thought they were fine the way they were, and I can't imagine anyone but Robert Englund playing Freddy. I've heard that the new guy did a good job, but I don't care. He's not Robert Englund, so to me he's not Freddy. It's it's kind of dumb, but I'm actually kind of half-heartedly looking forward to the Child's Play sequel that's coming out. Unfortunately, it's straight to video, but it's called Curse of Chucky. I haven't really mentioned this in my videos. It's something I've talked about a little bit on Facebook, but I'm actually a big fan of the Child's Play franchise, like the first 3 movies. I love the first 3 Child's Play movies. I never saw the Of Chucky movies. I tried watching Bride of Chucky about 15 minutes in. I was just like, the fuck is this? And I turned it off. I just could not get into it. And I never watched Seed of Chucky. But this new one, which is called Curse of Chucky, it's like it's taking the series back to its... Ooh, there's a thunderstorm outside. Sorry if you hear that every once in a while. It's sort of taking the show... sort of taking the franchise back to its roots a little bit. And there's like... And... I am a little worried that it's straight to video, and I'm not sure if the special effects are going to be very good. The Chucky puppet doesn't look as good as he used to, but I'm just kind of looking forward to something new with Chucky in it, where he doesn't have his face all stitched together and fucking Jennifer Tilly isn't in it. I'm sorry, I hate Jennifer Tilly. She gets on my nerves. But yeah, I'm sort of, I'm cautiously optimistic about it, I guess. I guess I'm just curious to see how it's going to turn out. I don't know that I necessarily expect anything good, but I don't even know if I really answered the question. What's happened to the horror genre lately? It's basically a bunch of remakes, that's what, and I kind of wish... This is going to sound weird after I talked about being happy about a Child's Play sequel, but I actually do wish they would just do something original and stop trying to remake everything. So yeah, I guess that's my response to what the hell's happened to the horror genre lately. Oh yeah, I also got a few questions on Twitter. I forgot about that. I don't really do much on Twitter. Okay, so Jash Darren Colsey on Twitter asks question, how much do you edit out of your Let's Plays? Sometimes a pretty good chunk. I'll sometimes play the game for an hour and I'll end up with a session that's like 45 minutes long, or I'll record for 45 minutes and it'll end up half an hour long. Basically what I try to edit out is any aimless running around I do when I get lost. I try to edit that down, unless, you know, something funny happens, or I think for whatever reason there's entertainment value to be had in me running around like an idiot getting frustrated. If I think it's funny or something, I might leave some of it in, but yeah, anytime I have to double back and go back to an area I've been to before, if I get lost, or, you know, I edit that out. Also, a little bit of TMI, I have sinus problems, so I have to clear my throat a lot. I tend to mute whenever I do that, or if I stop and cough a lot, I'll edit that out. So yeah, that's the kind of things I edit out. Basically anything that's boring, or is too repetitive, or is just, you know, anything like that. Like I said, I can edit it out up to maybe 15 minutes. I think 15 minutes is probably the norm. So yeah. Okay, Hued MX, I think I'm saying that right, asked on Twitter, I always wanted to know when the next film den is coming up and if you still plan on doing one of Transformers G1. I have to explain that. Well, first let me answer the first question. I don't know when the next film den's coming out. Technically, the one I did in last October was a film den. The top 5 things I hate about the Silent Hill movie. So there you go. It was coming out last October. I don't know. I basically do a film den whenever the mood strikes me to do one and I have time and everything. So I can't really answer that question. I I'm gonna have to explain what Transformers Month is to those who don't follow me on Facebook. I came up with this idea a while back, and I came up with this idea like a few years ago. So I'm, hard to tell, I guess. I'm a big fan of Transformers, especially G1. I grew up on it. I love it. I got into my head that I wanted to do some like really in-depth, I guess, coverage of not just G1, but really the whole Transformers franchise as I've experienced it. It would be kind of spotty because I never watched Beast Wars, for example, so I wouldn't talk about Beast Wars, but I could talk about G1, and I could talk about the live action movies and stuff like that, and Transformers Prime. That's stuff I've watched. But I even went as far as, let's see, the last MagFest I went to was like 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Anyway, I caught the flu bug and I was homesick the next day, and I just threw together this opening sequence for, you can find, if you go to my Facebook, you can find it in my video section. I only uploaded it to Facebook. And it's just an opening sequence for this concept I had called Transformers Month. And what I would want to do is just spend a whole, I guess treat it like I do my Silent Hill videos. Like I would take a month and like probably every Friday, I prefer to upload stuff on Friday. Every Friday I would, you know, do like a multi-part thing, and you know, for every Friday for a month I would just talk about Transformers. And what I would probably do is like, I would be Transformers Month, Transformers Season 1. I would spend a whole month talking about Season 1 of G1. And so yeah, and it's just one of those things I want to do, but I just haven't gotten to it yet, because it's covering a whole series or a whole season of a TV show. That's going to take a lot more work than covering a video game or a movie. There's more footage to go through, more editing to do, more thought to put in it. So I'm kind of procrastinating. It's something I definitely want to do. I just don't know when. I would kind of like to do it during August. Obviously it's not going to happen this August, but I would like to do it in August, because August is my birthday, so it would be almost like a birthday present to myself. So so I think one of these years in August I might start doing Transformers Month. But anyway, TLDR, yeah, I still plan to do that. I just don't ask me when, because I don't know. Next year would be nice. Yeah, I don't think I'll get to it. I don't think I'll get to it before the end of this year with the move and everything. I don't know. I think my video production is gonna probably get to a standstill after October, but we'll see. Pancake Fairy on Facebook asks, do you like Sailor Moon? If yes, which Sailor Scout would you like to be? I'm actually not a real big fan of Sailor Moon. I don't dislike it. I just never really, it wasn't something I bothered to follow very much. We did name our cat Luna, but that was Lee's idea. My experience with Sailor Moon was basically, during the time when it was being shown on network television, I watched, and Toonami also. It was also, yeah, I think it was also on Toonami. I watched season 1 during that point, and that's about all as far as my that's my whole experience with Sailor Moon right there. It's not something I ever really followed that much, but I'm kind of familiar with it. I don't know what Sailor Scout I would like to be. I'm not sure if you mean would I like to be her, as in would I like to be her, or would I like to I don't see myself cosplaying as a Sailor Scout, but I guess my favorite was Sailor Mars. I don't remember why exactly. I guess I just thought she was cool. Plus I just think Mars is a cool planet, so yeah, I guess Sailor Mars would be the answer to that question. Pancake Fairy also asked, what are some of your inspiration in the visual arts spectrum of things? I think she means who inspires me as far as my artwork. A lot of different things, actually. My favorite, I'll break it down into genres. My favorite manga artist is Rumiko Takahashi. I love Ranma 1/2. That was actually Ranma 1/2 is kind of what got me into anime to begin with. But anyway, I love Rumiko Takahashi. I'm trying to think of not just artists I like, but artists who have influenced me somewhat. I guess some of Jim Lee's artwork in the early X-Men from the 90s. That stuff kind of influenced me a little bit. My favorite Marvel artist is actually, he's a little bit obscure, I think. My favorite Marvel artist is Liam Sharp. And what drew me to Liam Sharp was because I was looking at his style one day and I'm like, his style is kind of like mine, except way better. I just noticed him doing some stuff that I do, and I found myself actually even trying to emulate him a little, not too much, because I want to keep my own style, but I do let myself be influenced a bit. And so yeah, my favorite Marvel artist is Liam Sharp. My favorite fantasy artist is Boris Vallejo. I freaking idolize Boris Vallejo. I like Julie Bell a lot too. So yeah, there's my favorite artists and the ones who inspire me and who I don't want to say I try to emulate them, but if I'm looking for inspiration, these are the things I look to. Daniel Laban Rosen on Twitter asked, I'm mostly curious about what's in store for the Game Den and Film Den, personally. That's kind of a loaded question, especially since, like I keep saying, I'm having to put most of my projects kind of on the back burner soon because of the move. I do have a Film Den I started a while back before my life got a little too crazy and before I started having technical difficulties. Another problem was I was starting to run out of, you can't tell what I'm putting up my computer as I'm saying this, I was starting to run out of hard drive space on my computer, and my computer was not, Vegas was not functioning properly on my computer, and I have projects I started that I had to put on hold because I was just having, Vegas was giving me so much shit with it. So I have a film that I actually started ages ago and I would like to finish it. I think I got about halfway through. So that's probably going to be the next one it is. I'm not going to tell you what it is because I prefer to not let people know what's in the pipeline. I know I bent that rule with Transformers Month, but I had already talked about it on Facebook, so yeah, I don't know. I also have a Game Den that I had started and again had to put on hold. It was actually not a Silent Hill game. It was, I'm not going to tell you what game it was, but it was actually a Genesis game. I was actually going to do a Game Den that was not based on a Silent Hill game for once. Again, I had to put it on hold though. I think because my computer died. That was another thing. My computer had to be rebuilt. I've had so many technical issues, it's not even funny. Another thing is the Game Bridge stopped working on my computer, which is why I had to stop working on my Silent Hill 2 Let's Play. Yes, people, I have not forgotten my Silent Hill 2 Let's Play. I have not been able to work on it. I know some people have been a little bit harsh with me about it, as if I just put it aside because I didn't care, and that's so not the case. It really hurt to have to stop working on it, but I couldn't capture footage anymore, so I didn't have a choice. I do have a new method for capturing video game footage though, so like I said, I'm working on the next Game Den, so yeah. So I know that wasn't much of an answer, but that's all I've got right now. I have too much life stuff going on to really put a lot of thought into where I'm going to take my shows. So that's it right there.